From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, November the 13th, 2024. 6 Israeli soldiers were killed fighting terror group Hezbollah in Lebanon today. They are 21-year-old Staff Sergeant Soraya Elboim, 20-year-old Staff Sergeant Dror Chen, 20-year-old Staff Sergeant Nir Gofer, 21-year-old Sergeant Shalev Yitzchak Zagron, and 22-year-old Captain Itai Markovich. The name of the 6th soldier was not yet released for publication. Hezbollah fired masses of rockets today at Israel from the north to the central area of the country. The IDF saying today millions of Israelis are in bomb shelters as a heavy barrage of rockets was fired from Lebanon. Drones were also launched at northern Israel. The IDF responded to the ongoing attacks hitting Hezbollah terrorists and terror infrastructure in Lebanon. And a rocket was fired from the northern Gaza Strip towards communities in southern Israel today. It, however, fell short, landing within Gaza. The IDF continues its fight against terror groups in Gaza, including Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad, who today released a propaganda video of one of the 101 hostages still being held captive in Gaza. The family of hostage Sasha Trufanov, who just a few days ago turned 29 years old in captivity, authorized its publication today. It is unclear exactly when the video was made, though it does appear to be recent. Lena Trufanov, Sasha's mother, after watching the video, was cited by the Hostage Families Forum, saying, "I am happy to see that my son is alive and that he is able to survive the horrific conditions in captivity." However, she said the desperation and hopelessness on his face are very troubling, and I am very worried about his physical and mental health. She urged her son, "Do not lose hope. We will not stop fighting for your release until you are here with us at home." The hostages have now been held for 404 days. 2 Israelis were said to have been lightly injured in what appears to be a deliberate car ramming attack today. The IDF said following the initial report, a terrorist arrived in his vehicle at a checkpoint at the entrance to Deir Kadis in the Ephraim Brigade in Samaria, the West Bank, carried out a drive-by attack and fled the scene. Israeli troops were looking for the suspect. The United States yesterday acknowledged that Israel has taken several steps to increase humanitarian aid into Gaza as a deadline given to Israel to do so expired. In a letter sent on October the 13th, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin listed concrete steps to the Israeli government to increase aid flow to Gaza or reportedly risk the withholding of weapons shipments. And when asked at a press briefing yesterday if Israel met those demands, State Department spokesperson Vedant Patel said Israel has taken a number of steps laid out in the letter, and while the U.S. is looking for even more, he said there would be no change in U.S. policy.
We at this time have not made an assessment that the Israelis are in violation of U.S. law.
Blinken was asked the same during a press conference today at NATO headquarters in Brussels, where he said that Israel has taken action either in implementing or being in the process of implementing 12 of the 15 steps laid out in the letter. He also said it was time to end the war. And to do that, Blinken said, we have to make sure that the hostages come home, including the 7 Americans. Noting the U.S. was working on trying to get an agreement on a hostage and ceasefire deal done, but that Hamas, tragically, he said, has demonstrated that it's not going to engage on that.
It's extraordinary to me that, as from almost day one, there is no focus on Hamas and almost deafening silence around the world on Hamas. Not only has it rejected engaging on the hostage ceasefire proposals. Not only has it rejected even smaller proposals that would have cost it nothing to release a small number of hostages and actually have Palestinian prisoners released from Israeli jails in return. Not only that, but a couple of weeks ago, Israel said, we will guarantee safe passage for every Hamas militant out of Gaza. Just give us the hostages back. And they refused. Is anyone talking about that? The world's been silent on that too. So it would be good to also see some genuine, sustained, effective pressure on Hamas to do its part to end something that it started.
Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Wednesday, November the 13th at 7 o'clock, David Harris speaks with Sam Markstein, National Political Director for the Republican Jewish Coalition. At 7:30, it's Good Week Israel. At 8, Justin Pines is joined by Rabbi Irving Yitz Greenberg, one of the most influential Jewish thinkers of the past half-century, to celebrate the release of his magnum opus, The Triumph of Life, a narrative theology of Judaism, describing how all of Jewish theology and practice is ultimately about choosing life. At 9, it's Shai Held on L'chaim. At 10, a replay of David Harris with Sam Markstein. And coming up next, it's Thinking Out Loud. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, November the 13th, 2024. I'm Teisha Bader. Am Yisrael Chai.